Right, so we have some not so exciting news regarding the battery capacities for the iPhone 14 models, so let's delve into it. So a few weeks ago there was a report from a not so credible source suggesting major upgrades for the iPhone 14 Pro batteries. In fact, I believe the source told us the regular Pro was going to have a 3,700 mAh battery, but the Pro Max was gonna get a whopping 4,800 mAh battery inside. And that would be a major increase over the already amazing 13 Pros and would put the Pro Max battery capacity alongside other Android flagships. However, that might have been too good to be true because we now have another source telling us the battery upgrades are not gonna be that major with the iPhone 14 series. So this also is coming from a not so credible source, but someone on the Chinese social media site Beidou believes the iPhone 14 series is roughly going to have similar battery capacities to the 13 series. So these are the battery capacities they tell us. So the 14 has a 3,279 mAh battery, the Max has a 4,325 mAh battery, the 14 Pro has a 3,200 mAh battery, and the Pro Max has a 4,323 mAh battery. Now I do have my reservations with this leak, and that begins with the fact the Pro models and the regular models share very similar battery capacities. Now, if you look at the 13 and 13 Pro battery capacities, you might see the Pro has a smaller battery inside. Now, yes, that might be confusing at first because the Pro, being the more expensive model, should have better battery life, but then you've got to remember this has a much larger camera module on the back, taking up a lot of internal space, and so having a smaller physical battery does make sense. And so it's very interesting the 14 and the 14 Pro has very similar battery capacities, while of course the Pro having a much larger camera module than the regular 14. Now yes, I know the 14 Pro is going to be slightly taller than the 14, and so that could allow for the larger battery, but then of course we know the 14 Max and the 14 Pro Max are going to be the same dimensions, and so how do they have the same battery when the Pro Max has a much larger camera module? So yeah, that's partly why I'm skeptical about this report, but the other parts I'm also confused about is the 14 Pro Max having a smaller battery than the 13 Pro Max. Now yes, I know it's a very small difference, but the 14 Pro Max getting thicker than the 13 Pro Max while getting a smaller battery kinda makes no sense. The only reasoning that could justify this is a vapor cooling chamber system that of course Ming-Chi Kuo told us about. We could see that with the 14 Pro Max, and so maybe that's what's taking up the extra internal space. Also, one could argue the LTPO panels going down to 1 Hz and also the efficiency of the A16 chip should easily counteract the slightly smaller battery in the 14 Pro Max and should still give you very good battery life. However, ultimately, if this ends up being the case, I will be very disappointed because I am hoping for big battery upgrades. I value battery life. That is the most important factor of a phone in my opinion, because what's the point of having all these fancy features if your phone can't last you easily throughout a day? So yes, while the 13 Pro Max already has stupendously good battery life, I do want to see Apple improve that. Since just imagine if Apple matches the Android competition and gives us 5,000 mAh batteries inside, that could result in days of battery life, and I really want to see that happen with the 14 Pro Max. But tell me in the comments below guys, which report do you agree with? The initial report regarding the batteries seeing a major increase, or this report regarding the batteries basically seeing no upgrades? Anyways, it's time to see what you guys are saying regarding the iPhone 14 series in the comments. So Mohammed says, I hope the Pro Max release schedule is not affected. And yes, I'm with you because I do not want to see delays with any of the iPhones. I know we've been hearing about that, but really it would suck if we had to wait a few more weeks for specific models. The one thing I liked about the iPhone 13 series was that all the models launched together as scheduled, so I hope the 14 follows suit. Anyways, Coca Fanta says, titanium frame is a must for the Pro lineup. unless you put on a case, the frame feels sticky when you hold onto it. I need to clean it very often, which is kinda annoying, and yes, I'm completely with you on this. Stainless steel as a material kinda sucks. Not only is it very heavy, but of course, it attracts so many fingerprints, and your phone looks absolutely gross after a few minutes of use, and so I'm also praying that we do see titanium with the 14 Pros. Because of course this would be lighter, but also this would be a matte finish, and so this would be a major improvement. However, I'll be honest guys, I am still very much skeptical of this happening because initially we were thinking the 14 series was going to be a major redesign, and so giving us a completely new material on the sides kinda made sense. But now, of course, we do think this is going to be the third version of the 12 design, and so keeping the stainless steel sides does make sense if that's the case. Since in the past with the iPhone 6 cycle and the iPhone 10 cycle, the materials did basically stay the same, so I can see Apple making us wait till the iPhone 15 series to get this change. Either way, I do pray it's in the pipeline because the Pro Max is getting absurdly heavy with the larger cameras and also the thicker chassis, so yes, we do need titanium on these models. Lee says, what's the big deal with the always on displays? I have too many things obsessing with the time. Now I do think, for me it's all about the notifications. For example, I have a wireless charging stand, so putting my iPhone on this and me being able to quickly glance at the notifications I have on my device does seem pretty useful in my opinion. Now yes, I know some of you guys might say the Apple Watch already kinda does this, and yeah, I guess that is true, but I do think it's way more convenient to actually have a display near your setup that always is in your eye view, because the Apple Watch requires you to look away and actually interact with the message or the notification, so I do think this will be slightly more convenient. So Vibub says, increase the RAM in the Pro models, and yeah, I do think that's likely because, as I've said in the past, we do need more RAM in the Pro models if they're going to get ProRes 8K support, and there's been plenty of rumours regarding 8 gigs of RAM coming to these models, so I do think there's a fair shot we could see a RAM upgrade. Though as I've said in previous videos, I rarely have RAM issues with my iPhones, and so if we don't get ProRes 8K, I can see Apple retaining 6 gigs with the Pro models. However, I believe TrendForce did tell us we could see LDDR5 RAM on the Pro models, I believe, which is slightly faster than what we have right now, so yeah, that might be a nice upgrade even if the actual mount stays at 6 gigs. And that's it for the question, guys, but if you have more questions and doubts and statements, let me know in the comments below. Anyways, thank you for watching, guys. Make sure to like and subscribe for the latest Apple news and rumours. Check out the link above on details regarding the iPhone 15 series, and on that note, I'll see you guys in the next one. See ya, peeps.